A man rescued this blind and deaf kitten, and her transformation shows what TLC can do. Zayad knew that something was wrong with Vachi the kitten. Her eye sockets were empty, so her blindness was obvious. But she also wasn't responding to noise. Indeed, Zayad came to realize that Vachi's blindness wasn't her only disability. However, she would soon undergo a complete transformation. Today, Zayad lives in Egypt with his cat, Vachi, but he wasn't always Vachi's human. In fact, she used to be a stray. Her story began when she was just a kitten, hiding out and struggling to survive. I found her when she was about 2 weeks old. Zayad wrote on Reddit in January 2018. She was living on my apartment building staircase. We have a load of cats that live in it. However, there was something noticeably different about Vachi. Though Vachi was several weeks old, it seemed that she still hadn't opened her eyes. Zayad suspected she was suffering from an eye infection. I opened her eye sockets to check, but there was nothing inside, he told Love Meow. That's when I knew that she was completely blind, Zayad explained. Unfortunately, he couldn't adopt her at the time. In fact, he already had a cat living with him, and his home situation wasn't ideal. To make matters more complicated, Vachi wasn't eating properly. Her mother stopped breastfeeding her, and she barely ate, Zayad said. The poor kitten was in danger of starvation because she couldn't find food. Zayad started feeding Vachi every day, but he had to take a break when he went on vacation. Zayad was only away for a week. However, he found a heartbreaking sight when he returned. Vachi was outside his apartment, and she was in a terrible state. With no one there to feed her, she'd come close to death and didn't have the energy to move. I returned home to find her laying down on my doorstep, Zayad recalled. She was just skin and bones, looking a lot dirtier than she was before. What's more, it looked like another cat had taken its anger out on the blind, defenseless kitten. In time, Vachi grew stronger, but it was at this point that Zayad realized that she had another problem. She didn't react when he called her name, nor did she respond to any other noises. She didn't seem to be startled by any loud, jarring noise, Zayad said. My other cat would immediately start running away if I started the vacuum or blender, Zayad said. Vachi gets startled super easily if someone touches her even slightly. When I snapped my fingers really loud next to her ears, she wouldn't even flinch or react in the slightest. In view of this, it gradually became clear that Vachi was deaf. Neither of her disabilities seemed to stop her from getting the best out of life, though. In fact, she might even enjoy the little things even more. The sense of touch is one of 3 senses she has left, so I'm sure she loves the sensation of being petted even more than most normal cats, Zayad explained on Reddit. Indeed, she loves to greet new people. What's more, Vachi's limitations don't stop her from navigating her surroundings. According to Zayad, she got used to her new home far faster than he had anticipated. In fact, she was exploring the house with all the confidence of an able-bodied cat in no time at all. Zayad told Love Meow, the more strength she gained, the more she started exploring everywhere. She even found a few favorite sleeping spots in tight spaces around the house. All the tender loving care did Vachi a lot of good too. You should see her now. Vachi has grown into a beautiful calico cat with an endless supply of gratitude for her big-hearted hero. Zayad explained on Reddit that now she's in good health, and a little older, he no longer needs to do anything for her. Vachi does have one unusual habit though. The only disadvantage might be that she's a tad too loud, Zayad said. She constantly meows for no reason, but I attribute that to her being deaf. Regardless, Vachi's human loves her all the same. It sure was some journey from barely being able to move to then being the most playful cat I've ever owned, Zayad continued. But Vachi's adventures don't end there. In fact, she'll soon be moving into a new home with her human. No doubt she'll adapt to her surroundings quickly though. Adopting Vachi was one of my better decisions in life. I love her so effing much now, Zayad wrote. And she's living her life as any normal cat would, and absolutely loves a good petting.